Hello everybody, it's Wendy and today we are going to do a new video with Sam's Bead Box, the newest edition, which is his anniversary box. And oh my goodness, it's called Beauty of Time, and this is one of the prettiest boxes I've ever seen. So what I am doing this time is I am challenging myself to make as many single strand necklaces, bracelets, and earring sets that I can possibly make out of this box. So we're going to see how many sets, and I'm not doing double strand, I'm doing single strand necklaces and bracelets, but we're going to see how many sets that we can get out of one Sam's bead box. So I don't know how long this video will go. I may end up having to break it up, probably will, but we're going to get started today and we'll see how far we get. So Sam's Bead Box, it is a monthly beading subscription box. He also has a store. It's samsbeadshop.com. This is a great box, you guys. It's $46 per month plus shipping, and it is all check glass and gemstone. Amazing. It is absolutely beautiful. So you can go to samsbeadshop.com to check it out. I will have everything listed in the description box below the video, and I do have a coupon. It is Wendy, and that will get you $5 off your first month's box. Okay, so our encouraging word for today is you're hot and literally everyone loves you. I love that one. It makes me happy. Okay. All right, so what you're going to need today, we are going to be using these beautiful chandelier findings from Sam's box. This really cool little 2-hole piece that we're going to use on some necklace chain. And this button is going to be on our bracelet. Okay, you're going to need some crimp beads. Now, I have tiny crimp beads here, several of them, lots of them. And then I have 3, what did I do with them? I have 3 larger crimp beads. Well, I thought I did. Didn't mix them in with those. What did I do with those? I just had them here. Oh, here they are. So these are size 3 crimp beads. These are size 2 crimp beads. And we need some size 3s because we're going to be doubling this chain over on the bracelet. And it's just going to be a single strand, but we're going to crimp it around this button. This is the 1 millimeter beading chain. It is on my website in bronze and copper. This is not the Coriana, this is beading chain. The Coriana does not work for the bracelet part of this because these links are flexible. The Coriana chain links are not as flexible. So you're going to want the beading chain for this. You could use anything. You could use leather, you could use, you know, bead stringing wire. You do it however you want to do it, but we're going to be using this is 1 millimeter beading chain. Okay. We're going to be using these beautiful check glass bicones from the box. These really pretty ovals. I love this luster finish. It is so pretty. We're going to be using these discs and these bicones. Like I said, crimp beads, the button. I'm trying to think of everything we're going to need. I think we're going to need some clamshell connectors. So I am just kind of doing this as I go. I mean, I have the idea in my head of what I want it to be, but I have not done it yet, obviously. So I think we're going to need, let's see, I've got 3. We're going to need 6 clamshell connectors for the earrings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're definitely going to need a clasp. What kind of clasp should we do? Well, we're going to do the button. Never mind. We're not going to need a clasp. We're not going to need a clasp for the necklace. It's going to go right over our head. Ear wires, though. We will definitely need some ear wires. So let me see what we've got here in the way of ear wires. I like lever backs. I'm just trying to see what I have in here that might be pretty with this. Grab out drawers. Okay, so I think I kind of like these. These are like a darker rose gold. Yeah, I do. I like those. Those look good. We're going to use those. Okay. That's going to be the earrings. And I think that that's everything we're going to need. This is very simple, really. Okay, so let's start with the necklace. Let's do the necklace first. Let me get the rest of this stuff out of the way. Grab your stuff together. And this is going to be really a pretty set, I think. So let me get some scissors and cut these loose right here. These little guys. Okay. Now, what we're going to do for the necklace is this is the bead stringing wire I was talking about. It is 1 millimeter. And I am going to put this around my neck and see if it's going to be long enough. And it is. This is good. So let me measure this and see what we have here. Let me get this out of the way. All right, let me measure this and see. We've got 12, 24, oh gosh, let's see, about 36.5 inches, okay? So, you know, you can do this however you want to do it. If you used a clasp, it would not need to be this long. I just want it to go over my head. It's so much easier. So what I'm going to do is I want my ends to be varied, but right now I'm just going to find the very middle, okay, which is right here. And I am going to take a couple of crimp beads. Right now I'm just evening everything up, evening the ends up. And I'm going to take a couple of these small crimp beads. And I am going to go up fairly far on my necklace with them. And this is totally your own creative control. I'm not doing anything around the back because I always wear my hair down, so you're not going to see it anyway. Now, I wanted to vary these ends, okay? So if you can see, I have laid this out here, and I'm just putting the ends kind of right about where I want them to hang, and then stretching the rest of this out. And then I'm going to move these crimp beads up to where I want them to be, to where I want my necklace to start. I'm going to take my crimping pliers, and I'm just going to, or you can even use chain nose pliers. All you're doing is flattening those two beads down on the chain. Okay, so just flatten them down with your pliers. You're not crimping like you're crimping tiger tail together. And then just pull. You don't want to flatten them too hard because you don't want to cut your chain. But if you just flatten them down gently and don't cut your chain, they will just become little stoppers on here. That's the goal, okay? So let's see, how do I want to bead this up? I really love these beads. They are so, so pretty. Let's see. I think I'm going to do one of these bicones first. Now, you can bead it continually all the way down this chain, or you can do floating elements. I'm going to put these bicones on here. Now, see, this part will hang even side by side, but the bottom is going to be a little bit, one's going to be a little bit longer than the other, but you want to make sure your crimp beads are side by side this whole way down this necklace, okay? That's important. Let's do one of these guys next. And all of these beads fit right on this chain. You just bead right directly on it. So quick and simple. Easy. So much fun. Okay, there they go. And then I'm going to stack a couple of these guys. I love to stack these little things here. Super cute. Get in there. There we go. It's a little fiddly getting them on, but they will go. I'm going to do 3 of them. And I'm going to do the same thing on both sides of my chain. Now, you don't have to do that. You can do this however you want. You can float them. You can bead all the way up and down it. You can, you know, make them asymmetrical. It's totally up to your own creative control how you want to do this. But this is just kind of what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do 3 on each side of these little saucers. I love that Sam adds so many different shapes of beads in this box. It is so easy to create with this box. You get so much texture and just, oh, it's so much fun. All right, I'm going to throw this bicone on here. This green one, I love these green luster finish. They're so pretty. I'm going to do the green bicone. that is a pretty little element right there. Do I want to add one of these to the bottom? Let's see what this looks like. And I am going to create mine kind of floating a little bit. But we're going to have some pretty long elements of beads. I'm not just doing like one bead and then a bicone or a crimp. Okay, so I kind of like this. Let me add one of these to the bottom and just see what it looks like. Yeah, I like that. I think that's pretty. So I'm just going to put my beads on. And again, I'm laying this side by side, okay? I want these to be even on either side, and I'm going to put a crimp bead on. Just like this. Let it go all the way down. You don't want there to be any space in between your beads. You want them to be touching each other. And come on up here with this one. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to take our chain nose pliers, scoot that up, and just flatten it gently. You don't have to flatten it real tight because this chain is 1 millimeter. So it's going to grip on there and stay pretty well. You don't have to be aggressive with it. Okay, just tug it. If it comes off, then you didn't flatten it enough and you can go back and do it again. Okay, so there is our first little element. Now, I'm going to come down a little bit, let the chain show, and put a couple more crimp beads. You don't really have to put the crimp beads on the top. It's going to, I mean, when this hangs on there, obviously gravity is going to pull it down, but pull the beads down. But I don't know, I just wanted to this time for some reason. I change things up every now and then. Okay, so I'm making sure that these are even on this side. I'm going to make sure that they're even here. And I'm just going down. I don't know, I may come up just a tad there. And just crimping them down. Give it the tug test. They're not going anywhere. Okay, now. Well, my goodness. Got tangled up there. Okay. So now I'm going to do 2 of these guys, these saucers. And like I said, I'm just randomly, I mean, I'm not doing any sort of pattern. I am going to do the same thing on both sides, but I'm not doing the same element over and over or anything like that. Just having fun with it. That's it. So 2 on there. Come all the way up. And 2 on here. There's 1. And 2. Come all the way up. Let's go ahead and do this guy. And this one over here. Okay. And I'm wondering if I should pull in some of this brighter green. Because this is... I don't really know. Just trying to see. None of them really go all that well with this one, I don't think, as far as... And these. I could maybe pull in one of those. I think I'm just going to keep it simple. Okay. I think I am just going to keep it simple. Okay, so let's do another one of these on each one. And then we're going to do the green oval. And this bicone. I want to make sure I save enough beads out for the bracelet and earrings as well. So these bicones, I probably need to stop because I've only got 4 left. So we could do 2 on the bracelet and a pair for the earrings. So let's do that. Let's see. Let's do 3 more of these. 1, 2, 3. On either side. Come on now. It's hard to get them on sometimes. I mean, they fit on the chain just fine. It's just hard to manipulate them with my fingers. My fingers don't want to do the work. 1, 2, whoopsie. 2 and 3. All right. And then we're going to do another bicone, the green one. So pretty. Yeah, they're so pretty. Oh my goodness. So pretty. Okay. That looks like a pretty good little element there. I may want to do, I'm going to do a couple more of these on the bottom, just because. I may just do 1. Yeah, I'm just going to do 1 on the bottom. Okay. And now we're going to put on a crimp bead again. Let it come all the way down and I'll just push them up to make sure that there's no spaces and just crimp it gently. Give it a tug. If it doesn't come off, you're in good shape. It shouldn't. And let's go right on here with this one. Whoops. Same thing, just right on there. Where'd it go? There it is. And smash that down. And just give it the tug test. Alrighty. Now we're going to come on over. Now, I want this to be down kind of toward the bottom, so I've got room for another little section here of beads. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to crimp first. Come on now. I have to make sure that I save out enough for the bracelet and everything too, so I'm used to just doing a single thing, not a whole set every time, so we'll see. But I think there's plenty of beads in this box to do plenty of sets. I mean, we're going to see how many we can get, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm just eyeballing it, coming up here, and crimping this beside that one. Okay, tug test it. Perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go this guy here. Maybe. There we go. Why do you not want to go on there? It's going to be difficult, aren't you? There we go. Why he's being so hard to get on. Or others haven't been. Let me grab a different one. Sometimes you just need to grab a different bead. Sometimes one of them just, its hole is not quite as big as the others, or vice versa. Alright, there we go. That one went on just fine. The other one just doesn't want to be on YouTube, I guess. I don't know. Okay, here goes this one. Okay, so we got those. Let's do a saucer, just one saucer in between. Then we're going to do the bicone, this one. I'm not using any more of those other ones because I'm going to save them for the earrings and the bracelet. Okay, I'm gonna do 4 saucers. Going saucer crazy. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 and 1 more oval. Whoops. These oval beads are so pretty. Okay. There we go. We're going to do the same thing over here. The bicone, we've got 4 saucers. 1. Oops. 2. 3. And 1 more. And 4. Okay. And our oval. I'm trying to decide if I want to do 1 more saucer on the bottom of each one or not. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to leave it like this, okay? And then we're going to do the crimp. So I'm just going to do a crimp on either side, just like I've been doing. Okay. And this one. Come on now. There we go. All right. There's those 2. Now we're going to put our piece on here. And I'm going to just go down through the one side with my chain. Okay. Down through the other side with my chain. And let's just take a look. Can't decide if I want to put anything above it or not. I could do a bicone above and below. I think actually I might do that. Yeah, I am going to do that. That looks good. Okay, so I'm going to put a crimp bead on either side again. So I'm going to come down about the same length as I've been doing between each section. And again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I'm not really measuring or anything. I can just look at it, pretty much lay them out side by side until. So we've got right about there. I come up just a tad, right there. Okay. Actually, I'm going to come up a little bit more. I'm going to go about right there. I want to have enough room to have them hang out the bottom. And same thing on the other side. Whoops. Okay. And again, just make sure they're even. And then I'm going to do a bicone, 2 saucers, okay, and over here, same thing, a bicone and 2 saucers, bicone, come on, and 2 saucers. I'm going to try to use every last bead in this box on these sets too. I try not to have any beads left over, so we'll see if I can do that. And then we're going to put this guy on. And this is why you needed a couple of little bit bigger crimps, because the holes on this guy are a little bit bigger. So your size 3s Should work out just fine. Hopefully, we'll see. All right, so I'm going to put the size 3 on here. I'm just going to let it go right up to that hole and crimp it. Yep, I think that's going to work just fine. We'll do this side. Same thing. And there we have our beautiful little necklace. Wow, I like this one. So, so pretty. Now I'll show you the whole set on a form here in a minute when we're finished. But let's go ahead and do the bracelet. So the bracelet is very simple as well. You need another piece of your beading chain. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our button and we're going to go right through the button with the beading chain, just like this. And because this beading chain is kind of flexible, it will link right in there, right in our button. And then I'm going to put my crimp on. I'm hoping this crimp will work for this. I may end up having to get a bigger one out, but we'll see if both pieces of chain will go through it. And they may not, but if they don't, then I'll just grab, I think I've got a bigger one in there. But I think it looks like, yeah, they're going to go through. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to just loop it through right like this. Leave a little room for your button to wiggle and just take your chain pliers and just flatten it right down, okay? And again, it's just a stopper. It does not have to be crimped. You're just flattening it on the chain, okay? Now, we're going to bead this guy up. We're going to use 2 of these and some of these and some of our saucers. So my wrist is very small. So this is going to be a tiny little bracelet, but I'm just going to take my chain here and I'm going to trim it to where it's right up next to that crimp, okay? And I'm going to put on 3 saucers. So 1, whoops, would help if I did it on the right chain now, wouldn't it? Good grief, I have my other pieces that we're going to use on the earrings. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we got 3 saucers, go all the way down. I'm going to do one of these ovals. I'm going to do a saucer and a bicone. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to take a crimp and I'm just going to crimp that section down. Or just like we've been doing. Just right here like this and crimp it and flatten it. Okay, I'm going to do another crimp on here. I'm going to scoot up just a little so part of the chain shows, just so it's matching the bracelets, or the necklace is what I'm trying to do. And let's see, let's do an oval. Two saucers. Come on, get on there. There's one. Those are tricky sometimes to get the little chain. I mean, it fits through the hole. It's just tricky to get it in there sometimes. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Come on. There we go. Have to yell at it a little bit. Okay, we're going to do one of these bicones. One of these bicones. And a saucer. Okay, and we're going to crimp. I also have on my website some beading chain and a turquoise and a gold two-tone, and it's the beading chain also, so it would work for this as well. The Coriana is beading chain too, but it just doesn't have the flexibility in the links that this does. For some reason, it's soldered a little tighter, I think, and this one you can bend around like that, where you just can't do that with the Coriana. So that's why I'm using this one. Okay, so now we're going to do an oval. Okay, we're going to do 3 of these guys. I have to watch my length too because, like I said, I have a little wrist. 3 of these guys. Whoops. Come on now. Okay. A bicone. This bicone. And let me see where I'm at with this. Yeah, I'm getting down towards the end now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and crimp it right there. I wonder if I should just, let me look here real quick and see if I should do another. Yeah, I do have enough room for one more section. Okay, so I'm going to crimp this. Put the little crimp on and flatten it down just so those beads will stay in their place. All right, now I'm going to put another one on. Skip a little bit of space just like I did on these. Okay, so it's right about there. Okay, and I'm going to do 2 saucers. And again, I just completely randomized. I'm running out of saucers, aren't I? Let's do 1 saucer. Hang on. I'm going to have at least 2 for the earrings. Okay, so we'll do that saucer there. And let's do a bicone. And an oval and a saucer. And I think that will be good. Let me check the length of it here. Let me get this last saucer on. Whoops. And check the length of it. Yep, that's going to be pretty much perfect. Okay, so I'm going to put, do I want to do, yeah, I better. I'm going to go ahead and crimp this one into place on the bottom, just to be consistent. Actually, you know what? I think I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and make my, no, I'm going to have to, because otherwise they're going to float. Okay. I'm going to crimp that in place on the bottom right there. Now, I'm going to make a loop for the button to go through. So I'm just going to do basically the same thing I did on the top. It's just got to be big enough for the button to go around. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So you've got to kind of measure and make sure that you get it to where it's not too big or too small. So you want your button to be able to fit through, but you don't want it to slide out. Okay, so just kind of, you know, look at it and figure out how you want it to go. And it probably could go a little smaller than that even. So let me pull this one down just a tad. Okay. Yeah, that's not, let's go a little bigger. You want it to be pretty close to perfect. So, you know, you just have to kind of sit here and that looks really good right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that, leaving a little extra right there. Okay, and then I have to put my crimp on my bigger one, just like we did on the other end. My size 3 crimp. And if you have bigger crimps, you can even use the bigger ones. It's fine, just as long as it's smash down securely so nothing's going to come loose. And then I'm just going to go back through it like we did on the other end with the button. It's a little bit fiddly over here because you have to get back through the crimp, but you don't want to you don't want to make your loop too big. So just let me get back through there, and then we'll make sure that we've got the loop good. Come on, little guy, go through. The other end went through, no problem. Why are you having a hard time? I may have to grab a bigger one if I have one. I don't know why the other end did just fine. There we go. No? Let me see if I have a little bit bigger of a crimp that might work. Or it may just be, the chain may just be hanging up on the other end of it. And there we go. Yeah, that's what it was. It was just getting stuck there because the crimp's hollow. Okay, let me see if I can grab this with these and pull it through. There we go. Okay. Now, I do want to scoop this down. So I'm just going to pull up on this side while holding on to the other side. And I have to make sure that my button will fit through. Okay, so let me scoop that down. Just want to be sure that the button will go through there. It does pretty good, I think. Alright, so I'm going to pull this up just a tad. I just want to be sure that my button will fit through. And that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to bring this up just a tad and smash it down. Okay. And my button does go through. Cute. I hope it fits. Let me make sure. They always look so small, but then when I put them on, they, you know, they fit because, yep, my wrist is tiny. So you have to, you know, even though it doesn't look like it's going to go on, it looks like it has so few beads on it. And then I put it on and I'm like, yeah, it does fit. There we go. That is super cute. Look at that. Wow. I like it. Oh my goodness. That's adorable. Okay. Now I could have gone a little smaller even with my loop, but I think it's going to be okay. Pull it, make sure it's secure, and your crimp's not going to come undone. So there is our bracelet. That is super cute. I love this button. And I love that that chain is so flexible that you can just crimp right around the button. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now for our earrings. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and hook our ear wires on. Let's do that. Okay. Just because it makes it easier to get them. Close that up. And this should be pretty quick and easy. These are not going to be difficult at all. All we're going to do on these, let's see here. We're going to take 3 of our pieces of chain, and you can make these as long or short as you want them to be. You need to account for your little lobster guy, or your little clamshell up here. So I've got 3 for each one. And they're going to have to hook on, whoops, sorry. They're going to have to hook on with a jump ring. So you want to get the smallest jump ring that you have. So let me see what I've got. I have some tiny ones here. These are some little oval ones. This would probably be good. Yeah, those little tiny oval copper ones would work. Okay, so you want the smallest jump rings that you've got pretty much. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 crimps. And I'm going to come through my clamshell on the bottom. Just like that. And I am going to crimp it right here. Put that little crimp on the very end. Actually, you want to scoot down just a little. If you crimp on the very, very, very tip, it will cut the chain. You have to give it a little room in there. So I'm just coming down a little tiny bit. I'm going to flatten that out just like we've been doing. Tug it and close this clamshell up. right over your crimp, okay? Then we're going to take this and we are going to hook it right on here, just like this. And the reason I'm leaving my chain long right now and not cutting it is because I just want to see where I want, how long I want it to hang once I get this hooked on. Okay, so let's put our little, now I can look and see, I don't want it to be super long. I mean, I want it to be, they're chandelier, so I want it to hang down a little, but I don't want it to be crazy long. So I'm probably going to cut the side ones right about here. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other one, and you'll see here in a minute what I'm doing. It might not make much sense at this point, but it will here in a minute. Okay, so we're doing the same thing on this one. Just coming down a little bit, flattening that crimp real good. See, I didn't get it even flattened. Scoot up there, flatten it. There we go. Putting our clamshell on, closing it up. Then we're going to do another jump ring. And I am going to then hold this one up and trim it even with the other one. Now the middle one I'm going to make just a tad longer. You'll see here, just 1 second. Okay, let's get that closed up real good so nobody falls off. Lay this out. And I'm going to cut right here. Okay, now, oop, I didn't get my clamshell or my jump ring closed all the way. That's what'll happen if you don't. It'll come right out. So close up your jump rings real good. It's best to do it real good. There we go. All right, there we have it. Now we're going to do one more. Okay, same thing we've been doing. Little guy on here. And the little guy on here. Get in there. Smash this down a little. Tug test it. Close it up. Grab our jump ring and hook it right on this middle. Close it right up. Make sure it's closed real good. I think that is. Okay. We'll know here in a second if it falls off. It wasn't. But I think it is. Okay, I'm going to lay this out. Now this one, I'm just cutting a little bit longer than the other two. Just like that. Come on, cutters. Do your job. It's your one job in life. Cut chain. Okay. And see, that one just hangs down a tad bit further. So now I'm going to take my beads, and this does not need a lot. I mean, it's very, you know, these are teeny. They're not super long. So what we're going to do is a bicone on each side, and I think that bicone in the middle, and maybe. So I'm not going to do anything on the top of these. I'm just going to put this on, and then just the little crimp on the bottom, because these are going to hang on your ears. You don't really need them to have the crimps on the top. Gravity will definitely pull them down, and it's a little fiddly getting it on here, but we're going to get it on. So stick that right on there. Come on. Get on there. And I'm just going to leave a little tiny bit hanging out the bottom. Again, at your own creative control. And it takes a lot of dexterity, apparently, to get this done. Okay, I'm just going to leave about just a little teeny bit hanging out the bottom. So there's what we have on the one side. Yeah, I like it. Okay, we're going to do this on the other side. Same thing with our little crimp. All right, that was easier on this side for some reason. Well, maybe, maybe not. Oh, nope. I thought it was going to be. This chain is very flexible. It does not stick straight up like you need it to get these on here very well. Just gonna grab the end if I can. There we go. Now I want this one to be even with this one, so I'm just gonna try to eyeball it. That looks right. I hope I got that right. Okay. Yeah. All right, then for the middle, I'm just gonna do the saucer. And I know I'm not getting an oval bead on these, but the oval beads are a little bit big for these because these are teeny. A saucer, that guy, and a saucer. And I think I'm gonna see if I like the way that looks. Yeah, I do like the way it looks. Okay, so I'm kind of coming down to the end. Not totally to the end, but you know, I want to leave a little bit hanging out like I did on the other two. Oh, shoot. Don't worry, I won't make you watch while I do the second earring. I will pause the video and do it, and you can do yours, and then we'll meet back up. And I don't edit things out because I think you all need to see that it's not always easy for me either. Sometimes it's hard. But it's worth it. It turns out pretty. Okay, there we go. Got it on there. Gonna scoot this one down a little, right about there. Okay, there we go. And look how cute. Absolutely adorable little earring. Wow, so daggone cute. And it's gonna look so pretty with this bracelet and this necklace. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my other earring, and you do yours and come on back. All right, guys, so here it is, our first set using Sam's bead box. Now, the video is already at 47 minutes, so I'm probably just gonna do a separate video for each one of these sets, just because I don't want it to get to be crazy. I mean, it would be like 10-hour video if I did them all together. But this is our very first set. I think it turned out super cute. I actually had these beads left over, which will have to go into something else because I'm determined to use every single one of these beads. Now, if you have not subscribed to my channel and rung the little bell, you need to do so, or you're not going to know when I upload the rest of the videos, and you're not going to know how many sets I got out of this Sam's bead box. So subscribe and ring the bell. It doesn't cost anything, and that way you'll know when I upload. So stay tuned for the next one. Yeah, there's going to be several more in this little series, so stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.